got to that point and she stuck me twice and she couldn't get it, I said, yeah, bring in somebody to know what they're doing, please.
December 3rd, 2021, in the hospital with my love. It's currently 10:57. We've been laboring since 4:15 this morning. She's doing great. Currently having the contractions right now. Koa is coming today. Son, we love you. We excited. Your mama is Superwoman. She is doing this shit right now. No meds. We still waiting on the meds, but she's a fighter.
Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, as you can see by the title, we're going to be going over my birth story. And this is my son Koa. He was born last year, 2021, December 3rd. So we're just going to talk to you guys about the birth story. I wanted to record this video because all throughout my pregnancy, I watched YouTube videos, whether it was a mommy vlog or a day in the life with a newborn. I love watching labor and delivery vlogs. I love watching story times just like this one. And so I wanted to put out one of my own. My intention was to try to vlog or record the whole process of me going into labor and going and like at least record the birth, but it didn't really work out like that. I gave birth during COVID. So during that time, they only allowed one person. That might still be a rule in some hospitals right now. But during my labor process, only Kai was able to come in with me. I wasn't allowed to have anybody else. So it was pretty hard on both of us being new parents, being, we didn't know what to expect. He was by himself, like he didn't have either one of our moms there to help him. So he was kind of really focused on me and Koa. He wasn't thinking about picking up the camera. So we have a few clips here and there. I'll insert them throughout the video where I can, but we don't have too much. So that's why I'm doing a story time instead. So like I was saying, I watch YouTube videos every single day. I'm pretty sure the morning I went into labor, I had just finished watching a YouTube video. I went into labor about 4 a.m. in the morning. I probably just had went to sleep like 2 hours prior. I was going to sleep super late around that time. I was literally 40 weeks. It was my due date that I went into labor. So, I was over it around 38 weeks. I was ready to give birth. I was ready to have my son here. So by then I'm just like, oh my God, when is he gonna come? Like, am I gonna have to schedule something? So that night, right before I went to bed, I prayed that I went into labor. I literally prayed, y'all. I was like, please God, this is my, my due date. Like, at least let me I don't wanna go over 40 weeks. So lo and behold, 4 a.m., I get those cramps, those super, super, super strong cramps. And I just wake up. And at first I really didn't think too much of it because I was already waking up from cramp. I would wake up in the middle of the night like with a little bit of cramp feeling and just go use the washroom, go drink some water, and they would kind of settle down and go away. So I woke up and I went to the bathroom. And so I'm just kind of pacing back and forth like, okay, these are a little bit stronger than normal. But at the same time, I'm not trying to overthink it because I watch YouTube videos. So I'm always seeing women go into false labor, or they are in labor and they get to the hospital and they get sent home because they haven't dilated long enough. So, oh yeah, you talking now? So, I just wasn't trying to think too much of it. And another part of this story, which is so funny, is my boyfriend, within those last few weeks going up to my actual labor, he will always wake up in the middle of the night with me. So whenever I woke up to go use the washroom, whenever I woke up to get water or just be up, he would be sleeping, but he would wake up and he would check on me. He's just he literally get up out of his sleep like, are you okay? And I'll be like, yeah, I'm okay, I'm fine. He just kind of stay for a minute, make sure I was good, then he go back to sleep. Every single night he did that. He woke up and he was like, okay, just to make sure I was okay. So this time, like I said, I'm practically in labor now. So I'm pacing back and forth. I'm going from my bathroom to our room, just walking back and forth. I'm moaning, I'm groaning, I'm doing all of this stuff. I'm literally on the bed, like just leaning and rocking back and forth, breathing in and out. And he barely, he didn't even wake up right away, y'all. He woke up 10 minutes after I had been going through this. And he wakes up and he's like, you okay? He's like this, you okay? I'm like, no. And he went directly back to sleep. Like, he literally fell right back to sleep after I said no. There was no, you sure? Like, what's wrong? Nothing. He just went back to sleep. I'm like, okay. So I'm just going through the contractions. But at the same time, I didn't even wake him up because, like I said, I'm like, this might not even be real. And in my head, I'm such a, like, I put it in my head that it was going to be worse. And I do that with everything. Whatever I'm anticipating, I'm telling myself, I expect the worst. That's what I'm trying to say. I was expecting the absolute worst. So I'm like, okay, this is not the absolute worst. This isn't it. Probably like 10 minutes, 15 minutes pass, and then that's when Kai wakes up. He sees that I'm like having contractions. He sees me going through pain. He immediately jumps out the bed and he's like on go mode now. And I'm just telling him, I'm like, no, we don't even know if this is labor yet. Like, I'm just making it like downplay. I'm like, I know these are contractions, but I'm like, I'm not trying to rush to the hospital right now. I don't want to be the person who's saying I was in labor for 48 hours in the hospital. Like, okay, yeah, I'm in labor for a long time, but I'm not trying to be in a hospital for a long time. Like, at least let me labor at home. That was my ideal thinking. His ideal thinking is, you're not about to have this baby on the floor right now. You're not about to have this baby in our house. He eventually talked me into it, but I was lollygagging, y'all. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I got in the shower. I was going through pain, trust me. But at the same time, I think I was able to tolerate it because I have such bad period cramps. Like, my period cramps are very, very intense. So like they said, everybody tells you that's what a contraction feels like, and that is the best way to describe it. It's like, for me, it's like a period cramp times 10. If you're not used to a super serious period cramp or an intense period cramp, then it's probably gonna feel like a period cramp times 1,000 for you. It was definitely rough. It was definitely hard. I'm not downplaying that, but I was able to tolerate it a little more than I think the average person can. I got in the shower. We finally like left out, got all of our bags in there, you know, put the blanket and stuff down just in case my water broke. And, you know, I told him, I'm like, let's stop and get something to eat. We're about to go in this hospital and we're going to be here forever. And then when you get there, you know, you get admitted. They don't let you eat after that. They don't let you eat anything with those ice chips. So I'm like, let's stop and get something to eat. We stopped at McDonald's. Girl, I didn't even eat that food. Like, I was back there moaning and groaning so bad that I did not eat a thing. Like, I didn't want to even look at the food for real. I drank my orange juice and that was about it. So I finally get admitted. We get to the hospital and, you know, it takes them about 30 minutes to actually check you in. So you're kind of in a waiting area and, you know, they have to make sure they have a room for you and all of that stuff. We get in the room. The room is super nice, y'all. We get there, we got admitted, and the nurse that was on call that night, she was helping me. She was so sweet, bless her heart, but she was a nurse in training. So we had some trouble with her. First of all, she checked me. Okay, she did all of the stuff she was supposed to do in the beginning. I'm skipping, like, I'm just giving y'all bits and pieces. So she did all of that, checking me and checking my COVID test and checking my whatever she had to check, making sure and then she had to check to see if I was dilated. So she went to check me and she said I was 3 centimeters dilated. That's when I first got there, which could have been correct. But her being a training nurse, they sent another nurse in to double check after her. Everything she did, there had to be another nurse that checked behind her. So that was already a little annoying, but I'm a patient person. So, you know, I was just trying to be patient with her. I'm like, okay, you got to learn from somebody. Like, I'm going to just be patient with you. The second nurse came in and she checked me and she says, oh, you're actually 5 centimeters dilated. That was probably like 10 or 15 minutes after she had checked me the first time. So it could have been, you know, like I said, it's possible that she was right. And, you know, I just went to 5 within those 15 minutes. Or it's possible that she checked me wrong. Oh, he's asleep, y'all. Good. This boy is knocked out. I knew he was going to go to sleep. She also went to put the IV in me. And when she did that, she missed. I think she tried it twice and missed both times. And she was letting me know, she's like, at any point, she let me know this in the beginning. She was like, well, I'm a training nurse. So at any point, if you want somebody, a real nurse, just like a nurse that's, you know, all the way there, just let me know. So when she got to that point and she stuck me twice and she couldn't get it, I said, yeah, bring in somebody to know what they're doing, please. Please. I've been patient long enough. I'm so glad. Thank you. You're so sweet. Like, thank you for helping me out. Thank you for caring for me. But let's bring somebody that can actually get this done. They switched out. She was still around. She was still there watching everything, but she didn't really, you know, touch me too much after that because I don't have time for you to be sticking me. And then me and Kai were already getting nervous because Kai was, you know, texting his family group chat, and his aunt is a nurse, and she was like going off in the group chat. She's telling him like she can get infected if she keeps trying to do that IV in her like that, and she can get infected if she keeps trying to stick her fingers up and check her so many times, and da. So, you know, we didn't want to take the chance. Kyle, like I said, Kyle was in there by himself. He just like, yeah, just let's get somebody else. I'm like, okay, cool. So we got somebody else, and all the nurses there were super sweet. I gave birth at Northside Hospital. I think that was the best decision. The nurses, the doctors, everybody were like the sweetest people you can meet. So after some time went by of, you know, just going through all of these pains, I'm like, okay, people were in my head, everybody, all of our family members, Kai was even in my head telling me like, okay, you might as well go natural, like you eating these contractions up. And I was, y'all, I'm not gonna lie, like I was really eating those contractions up, but they were starting to get worse, and I'm just like, what am I gaining from this? What is really the reason that there's no award. I don't get a medal after this if I go natural. So what am I going through all of this pain for? So you know what I did? I got the epidural. I called them and I said, come give me this epidural. And they gave me the epidural. It wasn't bad. Like, I'm not gonna say it wasn't bad. I downplay everything. Like, it was bad, but it wasn't terrible like I was expecting it to be. After that experience, I just think my pain tolerance is very high. That's how I look at it, because everything I see on YouTube, I was like, it was not that bad. Like, what are y'all talking about? It was painful, but it was doable. Like, I didn't cry or anything. It was just like, whew. And then like you do like this with your pillow, and Kai was holding my hands and making sure I stood up straight and didn't move around, and they just put it in you with a very long needle, and they stick it in you, and then you just like, you feel something going down your spine, like you feel the medicine going in there. I didn't really react well to the epidural. Like, not react well as in like a breakout or anything like that, but I had the shakes very badly, and I've seen that also from other women, but my shakes, it was like it literally would not stop. I was shaking from the time I got the epidural all the way until a couple hours after I had Koa. So that was just the worst feeling ever, y'all. Like, shaking like that and literally can't control your body. It's just so irritated. And me, I already had anxiety, so I'm just thinking about me shaking, and all the doctors and all the nurses are like, oh, just relax, you'll be fine, like just don't think about it. I'm like, how am I supposed to react? And like, I'm drugged up, I'm shaking like I'm crazy, like I'm off the drugs or something. Like, it was too much, y'all. I have a video of me shaking like that too, I think. It might be something now.
You feeling something?
A little bit.
Okay. Yep.
Like, it was bad. That was the worst part of it to me. The whole thing, I hated shaking like that. And as well, I ended up having to get my water broken because my water didn't break. It didn't break at home. It didn't break on the way, anything like that. So they had to go get the little hook thing, stick it inside of me, and, you know, make my water break. And that was an uncomfortable feeling as well. It literally just felt like I was peeing on myself the whole time. Like, as soon as they break it, it's like a warm fluid just gushing everywhere, all over the table that you're sitting on, and you know, you just feel it everywhere. And so they let you get up and change and clean up and stuff, but even when you do that, you get back in the bed and you like constant fluid is running out of you. And I'm like, am I peeing on myself? I kept telling the nurses, I'm like, yo, I feel like I'm peeing on myself. And they're like, don't worry about it, you're gonna feel like you're peeing on yourself, like just don't even think about it. And my boyfriend, he was just laughing at me because I'm just over here shaking. Like, it wasn't like he was laughing at me. He's just laughing at me because we both goofy. But I'm up here shaking and I'm feeling like I gotta pee on myself. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, and I keep getting up out the bed because I'm like, okay, maybe I'm peeing on myself. He like, you might as well stay in the bed. Like, you're gonna feel like this the whole time. So I had to get used to it, but it was very uncomfortable. After they gave me the epidural and they broke my water, I started to dilate less and less. Like, when you get the epidural, that slows down your dilation. So it wasn't moving as fast, but they allowed me to start doing some practice pushes. I got up to like 7 centimeters dilated, and they're like, okay, let's do some practice pushes. It's getting there. So I was practicing pushing and everything. They said I was doing really good, but when you're practicing those pushes, when you're pushing in general, you don't really know if you're doing it right. Like you just doing what they tell you to do, but you can't really feel if, especially if you get an epidural. I don't know how it feels if you go natural, but if you get an epidural, it's like you can't really tell what's going on down there. So but everybody told me I was doing great. Even Kai, he said, oh, I see the head, like I see the baby's head. I think you're doing really good. Like just keep doing what you're doing. They had me pushing. It literally just feels like you have to take a big poop. Like that's what you gotta do when you're pushing. Just make yourself feel like you're taking a big push, but remember to breathe. And that's the hardest part, is remembering to breathe. So we waited. Some time went by, and it was finally time for me to push. I got fully dilated, and they're like, okay, it's time. Let's start pushing. And so everybody is prepping for me to push. I'm like, oh my God, it's coming. Like everybody getting their camera out. Well, Kai's getting his camera out. He has my mom on FaceTime and stuff like that, just ready for me to push. And you know, it's really not working. Like we didn't really push for that long, but it just some was kind of off. So the doctor like kind of feels inside, and she notices that Koa is sunny side up. What that means is when a baby is being born, their head is supposed to be facing downwards when they come out. So his head was facing upwards to the sky. If I would have pushed him out, his head would have been facing straight up to the ceiling, and it's not supposed to be like that. So they said basically we had to wait. We're like, okay, stop on the pushing. We gotta wait till he rotates. We gotta see if he like is gonna, you know, turn around on his own. So that we waited for about 2 hours, y'all. This boy did not budge. They had me flipping on my side. They had me my legs open, like levitating, and we, like I said, we were doing different things for 2 hours, but they were doing everything they could to try to get him to turn, and he didn't want to turn. When 2 hours came around, by that time we had a whole new a whole new crew. They had changed shifts. So a new doctor had came in, and he started to talk to me. There was a new nurse, a new doctor, a new everybody, and the doctor came and he says, look, I got some options for you. He says, you can either try to push this baby out right now. You're fully dilated. You can try to push this baby out if you want to. But let me just tell you one thing. If you try to push this baby out right now, only 20% of women who push when their baby is sunny side up actually succeeds at pushing their baby out without having a C-section anyway. So basically, you know, you could sit here and try to push all you want to. All you're gonna do is exhaust yourself. You're gonna make yourself super tired. You hot, you sweaty, you tired, and then you go have to mess around and get a C-section anyway. So you can roll the dice and go for that 20%, or he said your other option is let's just get the C-section. I'm like, you know what, let's just get the C-section. I'm over it at this point, y'all. I'm tired. I've been shaking for hours. I'm sweating. I'm peeing on myself. Fluids coming out of me. Like, I'm like, you know what, let's get the C-section. I was so disappointed, y'all. I felt so defeated. Like, I was really like, I wanted to push my baby out, but that's not what God had planned for me. So I just had to suck it up and say, come on, let's get the C-section. Kai, my boyfriend, he said he was more nervous than me, but obviously he couldn't show it because he has to be strong and, you know, say like, come on, Micah, you got this. Like, it's okay. We're gonna be okay. He's okay. But you know, major surgeries like that, of course you're gonna be scared. You're about to get cut open. So I'm just like on a little bed sniffing. Like, I wasn't boohoo crying, but I'm just like, you know, like I just felt defeated. But we sucked it up and we went along and got the C-section. So getting in that surgery room was probably the scariest part for me, just because it felt so surreal. Just like being in this big white room with there was so many doctors in there. I'm not sure why there were so many doctors. I don't even remember if all of them were doing something or it was the fact that that was a training hospital, but there were like at least 10 to 15 doctors in that room. So that was just a little intimidating to me. And just, you know, I'm just laying on my back and I literally felt like I was on an episode of Grey's Anatomy. That's the best way to explain it. The lady, she was behind me. I'm laying on the table like this. There was a lady behind me that she was kind of supposed to, like, I guess, be coaching me and keeping me calm. And she did something with the epidural too. But, you know, when I first got in the room, she was like making this speech like, hello everybody, this is Micah Simpson, 26 years old. She's here to give birth. And then like she had this whole spiel and it just felt so surreal. I'm just like, and all of them are just staring at me while she's giving a speech. I'm just like, this is awkward. And at the time, Kai was not even there with me. So it was just weird, y'all. It was weird. I'm gonna be real with y'all. They were all white doctors. So that was another, like, I'm just like, all of these white doctors in here. And I'm just like laying on the table by myself. Like, it was just scary. I'm not gonna lie to you. Kai wasn't able to come in for the first 15 minutes. So all of that time he was standing outside. When they prep, nobody is able to come in there until after everything is done. So he came inside finally. So that calmed me down a bit. I'm like, okay, finally he's in here. He's able to sit next to me, hold my hand, calm me down. I'm still a little bit jittery, but I'm more at ease now. Now we're at the point of the C-section. The C-section went super fast, y'all. They basically did what they had to do back there. I couldn't see anything. They have a curtain that's draped in front of you, so you're not able to see. Kai was able to see a little bit because he was able to kind of like peek his head and see what was going on and look at me at the same time. But for the most part, he was focused on me. And you know, you don't feel anything. You feel some tugging. I'm not gonna lie. You feel a tugging. I felt like something sharp a couple of times, but it wasn't like an unbearable pain. It was like you know they're doing something down there basically. My doctor, he was super nice, so he let me know everything he's doing. He's like, all right, here comes this, da da da. And so they finally get me open and they're like, okay, we're about to pull out the baby. They pull him out and we just hear him crying, and me and Kai literally just bawl our eyes out. We just boo-hoo crying and laughing and smiling, and it was just the best moment ever. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I wasn't even all the way there. I was drugged up, like I was in and out of it, but I was still so happy because I just hear my baby crying. You know your baby is okay, so it's just like a feel of relief. And y'all, let me tell y'all, the first thing the doctor said when he pulled my baby out, he's like, wow, look at the head on this one. He like, this is the biggest head I've ever seen. I'm like, oh my God, my baby got a big head. But he do got a big head, y'all. He said it's in the 99th percentile, but I love it so much, I don't care. That was just so funny to us. Like, the doctor was just so amazed by his head. He was like, he was like, this one is so beautiful. His head is so beautiful. I'm like, oh my God, it's so funny. But so they took him, and they went to go get him cleaned up. I'm out of it, so I couldn't even really pay attention too much. I just told Kai, just go ahead and go check on the baby. You know, he was hesitant on whether to stay with me and make sure I was okay, because he kind of heard me like complaining about my arm and, you know, me being so tired and stuff like that. So he didn't really want to leave me, but I'm like, I'm okay. There's doctors in the room. If anything goes wrong, there's a doctor literally right next to me. Just go check on our baby. So he went to go check on the baby. I hear him crying, and they brought him to me before they even put him over there. They bring the baby to you. So they put the baby in front of you and, you know, put your head next to his, and so you can see him, and then they take him. So I saw him and everything. I was good, but then, you know, they take the baby away to get him cleaned up, to check his weight, his height, everything like that. Y'all, he was 8 pounds 10 ounces. They told me this boy was not going to be more than 7 pounds, and they lied. So if your doctor telling you something, don't expect that to be the truth, because they were like, yeah, we don't think he's going to be more than 7 pounds. My whole pregnancy, they were telling me that. Right up until I gave birth, they told me they didn't think he was going to be more than 7 pounds. He was 8 pounds 10 ounces. This was almost a 9-pound baby. He was huge. Y'all, I had a big baby, but I love him so much. So after you finish, you know, having your C-section or whatever, they take, at least this is the experience for a C-section. I'm not really sure how it goes when you push and you know, give birth that way. But for me, they took me into the recovery room, and they basically, you know, kept us there for probably like a couple, well, I don't even know if that was considered the recovery room, but they took us to a separate room for a couple hours, and, you know, tried to get me to latch for a while, tried to see if Cole was okay, and just, you know, just making sure everything was everything, and making sure I was still okay. But they were pushing my baby on me, but I was still drugged up, y'all. I didn't know what was going on. Like, I was literally in and out. There's videos of my mom and my sister on FaceTime with me, and I'm literally just, I'm like this. They're like, hey, Micah, you did so good. I'm like, thank you. Like, thank you.
Hey, how's it going?
Did it, y'all. That's my girl.
Like, I was out of it, y'all. And they're like, yeah, let's see if your baby can latch. I'm like, pause. Let's make sure I can breathe first. Please, I cannot hold this baby right now. I love my son and I'm so excited that he's here. But I do not want to drop him because I can't, I physically am not able to do anything right now. So I just kept telling him, like, can y'all just give him to dad for a second? Like, just give him to dad. So they gave him to dad and I remember all I did for an hour. I'm sitting there asking him, like, can I get some water? Can I get some water? When can I eat? Can I get some ice chips? Can I get something? Can I get some water? Please, just let me eat. And it took them like a good hour, 32 hours to actually give me something. I'm pretty sure there was a reason for it, but it was just so annoying because I'm like, I am so tired, hungry, thirsty, dehydrated, everything. Like, please just give me something so I can get the energy to get my baby. And then we can get this show rolling. Like, I wanted to hold my baby. I just physically could not do it. It took about an hour to be able to say, okay, let me get my baby and try to feed him. And he latched on immediately, y'all. I did not have look at him, he a big baby. He said, I'm hungry, give me my food now. I don't need no lessons. I don't need just give me my food. So he didn't have any troubles latching or anything like that. He latched immediately. And from that process, we went to the actual recovery room for having a C-section. When you have a C-section, you have to stay for at least 3 days in the recovery room so the nurses can care for you and make sure you're okay, make sure you're healing properly, make sure the baby is okay. That's a whole story for another day, y'all. I'm not gonna lie to you because that process is crazy, especially being that we were the only 2 people in the room, not in the room because there were nurses and things, but we didn't have any family members to help us or anything, and we're young new parents. We don't know what's going on, and recovering from a C-section is no joke. It's not for the weak. I don't see how women have surgery. I'm pro surgery all the way, trust me. I probably will want to have surgery eventually, but having that C-section, it definitely made me rethink it because that recovery process is no joke. If y'all want me to do another story time separately on postpartum and the process of like the recovery room and everything, I can do that video as well, and also do some postpartum questions, throw those in there as well. If you want to see anything else, if you want to add to another video, just let me know down in the comment section what you need, what you want, what questions need to be answered. I'm happy to answer all questions, and I'm happy to make a postpartum video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this helps. I hope this entertains you while you're going through pregnancy or while you're just somebody who's curious about, what's going on. But make sure you subscribe to... Yo, he be choking for no reason. It's not even funny. He just be choking on his spit. I'm not gonna say for no reason, but he be choking on his spit. I guess he wanted to wake up to tell y'all hi. Tell them bye, Koa. Okay, yep, it's time to go. Thank y'all so much for watching us. Make sure you subscribe to our channel so you can see all of us and see our vlogs. Yes, tell us to subscribe. What's going on? He's tired, yo. Make sure you like this video, thumbs up if you liked it, comment, subscribe to our channel. We're gonna be, posting more consistently. We're gonna be posting every week. Let me know what y'all wanna see, and we will see y'all in the next video. Thank you. Bye.